Mhm.
Yes. So welcome again to our talk show, Share Your Life Story. It's a huge honor to having you here as a public speaker, inspirator, and motivator. My name is Veronica Seban. I'm the business owner of founder of Business Power Academy. And as well of the talk show, Share Your Life Story Experience. Share Your Life Story Experience. It's a talk show which I created approximately 1 year ago with the main goal to inspire, motivate, and teach people that there are many opportunities out there, how we can create for each other to empower the world, to make the world a better place, but as well to attract our ideal clients and to contribute to the transformation of the people's life. Yeah, so we know each other for a while. So I have participated in during a broadcast. So with you, Global Leader Society, and today, so I would like to ask you to introduce yourself. Who are you? What are you doing? And so why are you here? What is the reason that you today are so invited as a guest to our talk show?
Well, good morning from Alberta, Canada, and good morning to you, Veronica. Thanks for having me here. Well, my name is Bonnery Tandoc. I'm coaching and mentoring, and I established my coaching and mentoring program called Confidently Speaking Institute in 2019. That was originally intended for my facilitation. So I do facilitation with the youth leadership program in the community of Drayton Valley here in Alberta. So we are teaching public speaking, presentation, and communication to adults. This is actually a part of my program in my organization called the Toastmasters. Toastmasters International, by the way, is the biggest organization in terms of public speaking, communication, and confidence building, as well as leadership. Now, I'm also an international speaker. I'm doing inspirational speaker, and I'm a facilitator, coach, and mentor, and I'm also an author. So I authored my first book in 2020. It called Say It Loud, Say It Proud, and the book is all about, again, presentation, public speaking, and leadership, as well as you build your confidence, because I saw many people, immigrant and even English speaker, native speaker of the language of English, they are really scared to do presentation. Let's say business presentation. Let's say doing a simple report in their workplace or in their organization. So that's where I came in. I would like to help those people because I'm also like that before, going to present your report, of course, it's scary, right? Even in a council meeting, organization meeting, anything that involves speaking in front of a group of people is scary. Even if you are in neurology, right? The one who will do the neurology, he or she might want to be in the coffin rather than speaking in front of many people. So that's what I do right now, and that's my vision actually.
What do you think that many people are scared when it comes to appear in front of a group of people and to do a speech?
Well,
because this is the biggest common problem that most of the people are facing with.
Yeah, actually, that's the number one fear. Actually, is public speaking and talking to many people. That fear of spider are underneath that fear. So why do we think there's a lot of people who fear doing public speaking or just simply talking? Well, number one, people don't want to be judged, right? We don't want to be judged. That's the number one reason why probably we avoid talking, because we don't want to be judged. Right now, two of us are talking here and we are live and people are now starting to judge us, right?
Yes.
And there are three things that people will look into you. And this is according to the book that I wrote. There are three things that usually see main three things when you start speaking in public. Number one is how you look, right? So you should dress professionally. That's the only reason that I can think of. Number two is how you talk, your volume of your voice. Are you shy? How's your volume? The lower the volume, that means you're shy. But I'm not saying just because you have a loud voice, you're not shy. No, it doesn't work that way too. But most often, when you have a low voice or you can talk clearly, then most likely you are not confident or you're not being clear to what you want to tell to the people. And lastly, how you organize your materials. Let's say when you do your presentation, how do you organize your materials? And let's say you want to talk to someone. How do you organize your thought and how you translate that into words? So those are the reasons why people don't want to talk in public, because they don't want to be judged, aside from being shy and no confidence. But of course, being shy and having no confidence, then that's a good reason. But yeah, I tell you, I'm doing this virtual world tour in my organization, and I'm actually talking about the art of giving and receiving feedback. And one of my talk in there, I mentioned one of the reasons why people avoid public speaking is because we don't want to feel judged. Now, this is my question to you and to others watching and listening right now. How do you feel when you are judged? Right? We don't want that. That's the reason why we don't like speaking in public, because we don't want to feel judged. What we like is compliment. What we like is praise. What we like is all positive remarks. That's been our psychology. Human by nature wants only positive remarks. But unfortunately, they are avoiding negative remarks. And that's the reason why they don't like to be involved in public speaking, because they don't want to get constructive criticism. So that's for me, my answer to your question. Why do people doesn't want to talk in public? It's because of this fear of judgment.
Okay,
Over to you.
Thank you so much. Why do you think that public speaking is the most important set skill for coaches, and why should be this the first element for coaches and skill set that they should know?
That's a good question, actually, Veronica. Thank you for asking that one. Well, actually, being able to communicate is a life skill that everyone should learn. Now, going back to your question, why is it important for coach? Yes, as a coach, you know how to deliver your talk. You know how to present. You know how to present your course. You know how to present your business proposals. And you will not be a successful coach if you can't deliver your ideas. Okay? As for everyone, we need to learn communication very well, because that will help us to be promoted in the next higher rank in our workplace, right? Particularly if you want to be promoted. I love to share this one, actually, and we all know this one. A leader should be a good communicator. You can't lead if you can't communicate. Take, for example, the popular billionaire Warren Buffett. He's a billionaire and known investor. He knows the importance of communication. That's why he enrolled in public speaking school under Dale Carnegie. So this is under Dale Carnegie Institute. Dale Carnegie is a well-known author of the How to Win and Influence People. And he's also a known coach, trainer, public speaker. And that's where Warren, this popular billionaire and investor, invested himself, because investing in yourself, in communication, in self-growth will help you along the way in your career. So it's very important to have a communication. Actually, communication skill is not a soft skill. It's a life skill that needs to be studied, needs to be skillful, and we need to learn it. And to be able to be a good communicator, of course, you have to build confidence within you. It starts with you. So confidence comes from us, right? Doing videos in Facebook, that takes a lot of courage, right? That takes a lot of confidence when you do live or recorded videos in Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, or any other social media. It takes a lot of courage. So that's the very most important. And if there's no proper communication, let's say in organization, there will be misunderstanding, right? And we don't want that. And once there's a misunderstanding because of lack of communication, then it's difficult to build trust, right? So that's the most important why coaches and everyone should involve in communication and public speaking.
Yes, what I noticed here in the Netherlands, that on the work floor, so in the companies, what mostly is going wrong is the communication. Even so, between the leaders, and they are not aware of the fact, especially between the departments, like when it comes to share the tasks. So they don't realize the fact that they should communicate in a better way. And I think that there is a huge, very huge requirement of public speakers to train the companies, because why a company is not successful, in your opinion?
Yes, I think it will be a big help for a company if they will hire someone to train their employees, an expert outside of their company, to teach them not only the importance of proper communication, public speaking, even in a simple conversation, also to teach them the mechanics and procedures and communications in confidence building. I know there are a lot of people there here that they consider themselves introvert, right? Or those who are people who doesn't talk much. Yes, I understand that. That is what do you call this one? That's their personality. We understand that. But in a world of organization and business, we need to speak. But of course, when I say we need to speak clearly, concisely, and well understood. Now, this is what I like saying about communication, and I learned this from the world champion of public speaking. He once said, communication is not what you said. It is what the audience understand what you said. The primary goal of communication is to be understood so that you will get a clear response. Now, I'm speaking specifically on the speaker side, or the one who is giving the information. By the way, communication is giving and sharing communication, information, and ideas, right? So let's talk about the person giving the information. When we talk, we should be clear. We should be concise. And our primary end goal is we should be understood. How are you being understood? Of course, your voice are clear. Number two is, of course, if let's say English is not your primary language,
yes,
right?
Yes.
We have to be clear in pronunciation.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we will lose the message. And that's a problem. The moment that we start talking and we mispronounce certain words, Even in your native tongue, you're talking to your fellow countrymen, right? And your words are not clear. So I'm not speaking about English here, any language that we use. When we mispronounce the word or we are not clear on certain words, that's where the attention span as well as the comprehension of the listener, you will going to lose their attention and their focus. So communication is not only what we said, it's how the listeners understand what we're saying. So we need to be clear. Now, for those people who are, I mentioned before a while ago, having no confidence, shy, introverted, whatever personality you have, it's still helpful if you eliminate those kind of shyness, right? Because you are in a world and we are in a workplace that we need to communicate, right? And communication by is not only speaking. It can also mean nonverbal communication. So in the form of writing, right? That's communication. And again, if we don't have proper communication in an organization, then we will not understand each other's, and then employees will feel not encouraged. They are not encouraged. They are unproductive. It's because of that lack of communication. There's mistrust. There's a barrier. It's like there's a wall in between two people. So very important if there's a motivational and inspirational speaker to be hired to train those people or probably send their employees to a training, right? So very important.
I would like to share one example. So with the people who are running webinars and challenges. Approximately 1 year ago, I have been running a challenge for 5 days where I have invited a public speaker. Why this is so important? I'm calling so this system influencing marketing blueprint system, which attracts so the ideal client when you are collaborating with different coaches, public speakers, that they can speak on exactly so on the topic that is treated during the challenge. Because if you are running a challenge for 5 days, so then you have different topics during the 5 days, and it means so that you need to run the challenge in a professional way, and that's why it's very important to invite so a public speaker and different coaches. But I mean coaches and public speakers who have really experienced that, and you and the audience can learn from them. And one question more. So would you like to talk more about your book? Because I'm very, very curious to discover what about is your book.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for asking about the book. Yeah, the inspiration of this book actually are my students and participants in my youth leadership program 3 years ago. So that's before pandemic when everything else is still in person, right? So we started in the community teaching public speaking, and also my one way of promoting my club before, promoting the club so that, and it's a way of giving back to the community. So those are the reasons. And I like my co-members in my club to go out because we are practicing public speaking and presentation, and it's the best time for us to go out and teach about public speaking, and also they will expose themselves to speak outside of the club, right? So it's a train. So there's a lot of reason why I became coordinator and facilitator to help not only my co-members but also help the youth. And my main target before is the non-native speaker of English in a certain school. So actually, I got this invitation from a teacher in that high school for me to teach public speaking. And I said, yes, this is a great cause, right? So eventually, it evolves until I presented it to the community or town library, same program. And this time, we are having a participants who are native speaker of English. So you see, it's not only native speaker of English, they also need to learn communication. It's not because we speak English, we can do public speaking, right? So that's two different things, right? That's two different things. But anyway, when pandemic came in, and that's in 2020, I started to write this book because everybody's staying at home, right? We are superheroes staying at home. So I want to be a superhero inside of me. I want to do something. And I always believe that if you believe something will exist, you should initiate it. So I initiated the book. So that's the start of the book. And also I'm doing book donation program in the Philippines. That's the reason, hey, I'm asking my friends for their books to donate it into this program. Why should I write my own book so that I can donate my own books? So that's all the reason. My inspiration are the participants of my youth leadership program, and at the same time, my inspiration to donate books in the Philippines, that started and initiated my book, Say It Loud and Say It Proud. And again, Say It Loud and Say It Proud is all about confidence in public speaking, communication, conversation, and presentation, right? In insurance, if you're an insurance agent, you know how to present. If you're a teacher, you should communicate clearly. If you are a coach, you know how to present your course, your business course or whatever course. Now, if you're a speaker, now we know that a speaker should talk concisely and we are well understood. So that is all about the book. So the book is actually 9 chapters, and there's organization of your thought here, how you convert your ideas to speech. It's in here. I also mentioned about evaluations because I always believe evaluations is the breakfast of champion. If you want to win, you should be willing to judge and you should be willing to be evaluated. So you're open-minded. Also incorporated here filler words. Now, for those everyone who doesn't know about filler words, this is unnecessary words that we every time we speak. Example of words are like, so, so let's say example of filler words. My name is Boneric Tandoc, and I live in Canada. I'm very much grateful to Veronica for inviting me here today. So that's our example of filler words. You notice in between the words I'm saying, there are those filler words like so. It's very important to eliminate those filler words because it affects our communication to other people, right? So particularly filler words are mentioned by those non-native speaker of English. Why? Because they're thinking the words that they want to tell, and in effect, they mention that filler words. So how to eliminate filler words is in this book, but I want to tell it to everyone to help everyone eliminate filler words. Practice pauses or stopping. So let's say you want to convert or translate your words into English. Practice the pause. Example, my name is Boneric Tandoc. I live in Alberta, Canada. That's better than my name is Boneric Tandoc. So I live in Alberta, right? So eliminate pausing to eliminate filler words. So again, to our listeners, pillar words are like so, so that's what I want to teach everyone here. Eliminate pillar words. Also, in this book, I mentioned about the voice. Are you a fast talker or a slow talker? I noticed many non-native speakers of English, particularly from Asia, when they speak in their own native tongue, they speak too fast, right? And then when you speak another language, you still have that fast talking, like you speak in English. Now, take into consideration, let's have a little common sense here. If we are speaking in another dialect, of course, we have to slow down. Speak slowly and clearly. Okay, so this is applicable to all non-native or native speakers of English. Speak slowly to be understood. So there are many other parts of the books here. I also mentioned about the necessity of practice. So you should practice your talk, your presentation before you present it to your audience. And another thing is the storytelling. In this book, the importance of storytelling, that's you mentioned an example a while ago. You said, I'll have this example. That is a part of storytelling.
Exactly.
And I'm also telling my story here. That's a part of storytelling. So the notion of public speaking, actually, they think public speaking is acting. No, public speaking is you are communicating. And regardless of number of people, 1 or 1,000, that is still public speaking. Okay, it doesn't matter the size of the audience, because communication involves 2 or more people. It's the exchanging of information and ideas. Now, if you are only talking to yourself, then that is what we call monologue, and that's a different thing, right? That's a monologue. That's a different thing. Yeah, so this is all about the book, actually.
Yes, it's very interesting and absolutely useful. I studied communication science and business development back in the Netherlands, not in English. And I'm aware of the fact that I have to improve my English skills. So I work on it. It's very hard, because it's my 5th language.
Oh, wow.
Yes, like in totally I speak 6 languages, but 5 of them I speak really fluently.
Oh, can you mention to us what's the 5 for the benefits of everyone?
Yes. So I'm born in Soviet Union, Republic of Moldova, and I grew up bilingual. So in my childhood, so from home, I learned Moldavian and Russian. So at school as well, the Russian language was obligated, so to learn. Afterwards, then at university, I learned French.
Oh, wow.
Yes. And after the university, then I learned Italian language because I immigrated to Italy, where I have been living for 2 years. And after Italy, then I immigrated again after 2 years. I immigrated again to the Netherlands. When I came to the Netherlands, then I should learn Dutch and English. It was an absolutely must. So these 2 languages. If you want to really to be integrated in the society here in Netherlands, you should so now the language. Otherwise, you are not allowed in the society. It's very hard.
I agree. So let's say we are immigrant in a particular country. It's our responsibility to learn the language.
Yeah.
Because it's, as you mentioned, it's really difficult to integrate yourself to the society you're in. So let's say those immigrants from Asia and they go to Canada, they have to learn English very well because that's their main responsibility. And as I mentioned earlier about communication, communication is our main purpose in communication is to be understood. Now, if you will not going to learn the language, the country you will going to live or work, how can they understand you, right? Particularly in workplace, your everyday dealing alone will be affected if you will not learn the language. So let's say I move to Netherlands or I will study in Netherlands. I have to study the language. Otherwise, it will be very difficult for me. And great job to you for learning those languages. Actually, it's your benefit actually. No other benefited except you and you because you learn a lot of languages, right? And you know 6 languages. That's absolutely awesome, right? I know 4 or 5, but others are just dialect. So and there's a big difference in dialect and languages, right? The languages are the common language of a particular country, but when we say dialect, that's another way. That's okay. So I really want to share this one here. And it says here, I'm going to read it in my Canva presentation. And it says here, it's about communication. And regardless of what your language, first learn the meaning of what you say and then speak. That is actually from Epictetus, right? So regardless of which language you speak in, you need to be confident. Regardless of what, confident and clear in your words. So know the meaning of your words before you speak something. It's difficult for us to speak something that we don't understand. So that's all about communication. It's very good. Yeah, so great job on learning those 6 languages. And we are all work in progress. I'm still work in progress. I'm still learning. Learning is a continuous process in communication, right? Very, very important is to learn.
Exactly. So long we are living, so long so we are learning. So
Yes.
but we are saying that when you know 6 languages, so it means that there are 6 persons, so that you have the knowledge for 6 persons, and it's only
Right.
richness. In my case, like it was a dream. So for me to learn during my life about 10 languages from my childhood. Like I have made a list with all my wishes, my dreams, and I have written that down, what I want to achieve in my life. And so I'm on the good way, but I didn't achieve what I really want. So I should learn to use my full potential.
That's
and
right.
I think that every single level requires from you a higher level of knowledge if you really want to create abundance. And I think it's awareness for all of us, for coaches, mentors, trainers, public speakers, healers, and therapists.
Yes.
And something also that I would like to mention is that if you really want to make massive impact, if you really want to attract your ideal client, you should be a role model. You should be an example and a leader. So you should show to the people that you are really a leader through your skills, through your human attitude towards the people, because I'm wondering why many people, they don't know how to connect or how to make connections with another people, just being human, just being kind. I think this is the key secret to success. And outside is all, of course, your skills and life experience and sharing your true life story. Is that how we make impact around the world? So now, please, Eric, I would like then to know more about your presentation, because you have prepared a presentation as well for us, right? Or
Well,
not?
actually, I don't have the PPT. I have my slide, but I can't share it right now. But of course, let's start with more on, I want this to be more on a natural flow of presentation.
Yes, it's up to you.
Yeah.
So like you
Sure.
can decide.
Yeah. Actually, when we start communication or public speaking, let's start with the organization. We need to organize our thought in public. Let's say you will do a 1 hour presentation. So the best thing to do when you do a presentation is you know your audience. You have to know who are your audience. So let's say they invited me for a certain presentation. So on February 16, I'll be doing a public speaking course to a group of youth here in my town. It's online, unfortunately, because of the restriction, right? But of course, the very first thing that I ask the organizer is, who are my audience? Are they female? Are they male? What's their age range? So very important, when you're invited to any talk, you need to know your audience. Okay, you need everything about them. That way, you mentioned human touch and connection a while ago. The moment that you know your audience, that will start your human connection. You don't want to go in a virtual stage or in a certain presentation in person that you don't know the audience. You don't have any clue about their age, their sex, their career, right? Are they students? Are they teachers? Are they professionals? Are they working in a labor force? So things like that. So number one, that's very important, is know your audience. Second one, select the appropriate presentation for that. The moment that you know your audience, then you know your presentation. You don't want to go to a group of teachers and then you're talking about your experience as a student before. It's very difficult to connect, you know. I just use that analogy. Or let's say you will go into a company dealing with customer service, but you're talking about something else. So knowing the audience, knowing the environment is critical, very important. Now, the moment that you know all those things, it's time for us to organize our materials. In presentation, whether it's 10 minutes, 30 minutes, or an hour presentation, there are only three main basic components of our speech or presentation, and that is the introduction. Your introduction is one way to attract your audience about your subject matter. And then later on, you transition to your body or the message of your presentation. And that is where you're going to present. And the body of your message, probably you can have 3 topics. And then each topic, there will be subtopics. And then you can go on with that. Afterwards is your closing or your ending of your presentation. And in your ending of your presentation, that includes the summary, that includes the call to action. That's also including the question and answer portion, so that your listeners will learn more if they have some questions that you need to clarify or you need to answer. So that's very basic. Opening, body, conclusion. Opening, body, conclusion. And this is the most important part. I've seen a lot of educators, not actually speakers, when they present in an international conference online, they are over time. They exceeded the time allocated for them. So be very, very critical about your time. It's very important. If they give you an hour to talk, then you should be speaking in an hour, not an hour and a half. Yes, we all know that there are many people who are afraid of public speaking, but the moment that they have this confidence to speak, they forget one thing: time. They are over time. And every time I attending a conference, let's say we are 20 speakers there, the 3-hour conference will become 4 hours. Why? It's because each speaker speak more than the time they allocated. Over time, that's very important when you do your presentation. Never exceed the time, because number one, you are disrespecting the time of other people. And we don't want that. And also, you are giving injustice to yourself because you don't know how to manage your time in public speaking and presentation. Take into consideration when you going to present, there will be the interruption. Include that in your presentation. That's why we need to know not only our subject matter, but how will we incorporate that subject matter in a certain period of time. So that is organization alone. Okay.
Yes.
So we're just only talking about organization here.
Exactly. Organizing as well your own thoughts and the presentation that you want to present, and the expression as well of your thoughts. You know, I learned the professional copywriting. So copywriting, it's very easy to me. Like if I see a message, like I'm even helping my daughter with copywriting, because that's what I learned, not only about the professional communication presentation as well.
Yeah.
But here in the Netherlands, honestly, at that time, I was so scared. I was so scared, yes, because studying in the Netherlands, it's very, very strange. They are requiring really a lot from you. If you are studying a language, if you are studying, it doesn't matter what, they are requiring really many things of you. Even they are testing your level of thinking and on what level do you study. So I think that we should apply as well, and to so this in the coaching, and to create awareness, to be aware of the fact on what level do you think, what is the level of your thinking, and on what level do you operate. And if you really want to achieve that level, a high level, so as an entrepreneur and as a coach, so it means so that you have to learn a lot. It means so that you have to invest so in your education and to learn the necessary skills. The last question for you, Eric, is why a pitch is so essential for every single coach.
Sales pitch. Wow, what a good question about pitch.
A pitch.
Yeah, it's very important because this is where we introduce the course. Let's say if you're a coach, right? Very important that we have that pitch so that they will know what we are doing and who are we. That's very important. Pitch is very important. A pitch is really imperative, right? Very important. So if you're referring to the pitch of your tone of voice too, right? Is that what you meant to? Tone of voice is really important, right? Actually, in my book, I mentioned about it's in here, chapter 6, it's diversified vocals. And I mentioned about the pitch in here, right? So how's your pitch? Is it high? Is it low? So that is one thing that we need to consider in communication actually.
I would
Very
like
important.
to ask you, what is the structure of a pitch? So let's share this with our audience. What is the structure of a pitch? How should they present them in front of the people that needs to hear their voices or messages?
Okay, okay. We have the so-called the rate of our okay, it's in here, and I'm going to read that one actually.
Yes.
Page 82. And
Because
it says here,
this is also a part of the identity. So it means that you should know how to present yourself in front of a group of people and what to say and how to say that.
Yeah. The rule of an excellent voice, it says here. And number one, is the volume, and the second one is your pitch. The perception of fundamental frequency in corresponding harmonics is commonly known as voice pitch. Okay. Pitch refers to the level, not the loudness of your voice. I mentioned a while ago, it's because you have a loud voice doesn't mean you're confident. No. We associate a high voice with a young child in a narrator like Morgan, with a low voice. Somewhere in between high and low are incremental levels that fall all what is natural for each person. There are many pitches. One person has their own. We are unique. So we have our own different way. Being able to adapt the pitch of your voice to your material is imperative. For example, excitement and enthusiasm are expressed in a high pitch. And then sadness is spoken with lower pitch, right? So very important is your emotion. And your emotion actually will be determined by what is pitch you're going to use. Excitement is high, sadness is low. Okay. Pro tip, and I would like to give a pro tip here. Avoid monotony. Pitch is very important. So let's say you're making a sales pitch in your course as a coach.
Yes.
You don't need to be monotonous.
It should be interactive.
Monotonous, yeah. Yeah, it should be interactive. Your voice alone will become interactive because of that pitch. When you do not change your pitch, people become bored, right? And how can you sell your course? Or how can you be an effective presenter if you have those monotony of voice? Let's say example in a video, Facebook live video or recorded video. Notice the pitch of that speaker. If his pitch are the same, then he lost the interest and attention of his audience because they're bored. Note that speaking in a squeaky voice will have the audience respond as if you have run your fingernails down the chalkboard. So you should avoid the squeaky voice. That's why there's a training in our tone of voice and our pitch, breathing exercise. And in this book, one chapter, I discuss the breathing technique to improve your voice, the tone of your voice, and your pitch. There's one chapter here in my book. So,
but we should practice, we should exercise this because, you know, often you are not aware of the tone of your voice. Like you do it automatically in a very normal way, spontaneously.
Exactly. Yes. It must be natural. Of course, constant practice, if you do it every day, will become a natural part. So same with hand gesture. When you speak and then you have that hand gesture, it becomes natural. But of course, practice makes progress. So communication in public speaking involves not only the words we tell. Actually, the words we tell in communication is only 7%. And the rest, 3% is divided between the voice, particularly the pitch, and your non-verbal communication. And when we say non-verbal communication, it's our facial expression,
Body
our
language.
eye contact.
Body language.
You got it right. Body language.
Yes, because we have different ways to communicate.
That's right.
Visual, auditive, verbal, body language as well. And if we apply, so the NLP technique was, NLP has different temperaments, like kinesthetic, when you are very, very sensitive. And there is people that they can learn more when they listen, auditive, yeah. And then we have as well the verbal, when someone is talking and then you want to see when someone is talking, because otherwise the information is not interpreted in the right way. And the visual, so when you watch a video, so like there are different ways. And if you now as a coach, in which category so you are of all these 4 aspects, then you create awareness for yourself, and you can make it easy for you so to learn much easier. The last question is, where could we find your book? And there is a digital version of your book that we can buy it online.
Yes, there is a digital version and a print version of the book. So it's available in Amazon, amazon.com, amazon.ca. So just go and find the title, Say It Loud, Say It Proud, and the author is Bon Eric Tandoc. You can also order it directly. It will lead you, if you will check the website, my website, www.bonerictandoc.com. I hope I can put that in a chat box, www, my name, and then .com. And you will see the book there. Click that link and it will go to the Amazon. It is directly in my website too.
Yes, or otherwise, could you share the link on Facebook with us? Because then I think it's a very, very necessary book to read, because there are many public speaking techniques that we can learn and that we need so for coaching. I want to thank you so much, Eric, for being present today here with us and for sharing your life story experience about public speaking. And I would like to thank you as well to everyone who has been today present with us live and who wants to participate to our talk show. So you are welcome, but there are specific categories of people that may participate, because I received, of course, many messages, like hundreds of messages to may participate to the talk show, but we accept only coaches, therapists, mentors, public speakers, teachers, no, because they are not a part of our category, niche category, and that's the reason why we don't accept them without offending so the people. And of course, mentors and trainers, therapists, healers, so you are welcome. Thank you again to everyone. Take care. It was a very huge pleasure so to talk to you, Eric, and I talk to you soon. Take care.
Yeah, thank you very much too for inviting me. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Are we still live?
Yes, we are still live.